Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's another Sunday evening. I have some amazing women tonight that is going to share their story, just a little bit of their story with you. Two of the female AOT speakers, two of my faves, all of them are my faves. I'm going to say that every week. Um, and we are going to share with you. Y'all know I'm always sharing, right? Share, share, share. So um, when you see this, share it out, share it out, share it out. Okay, I've shared it. So you are tuned into the Auto Transparency Talk Show. I am your host, Makita Moore. And tonight we have Crystal Iris with us. Hey. She is the vice president of the 2021 Art of Transparency Tour. And we have the lovely Risy Spearman. She is the 2021. She was here for 2020 and she's coming back for 2021. She started with us by singing, right? She came in 2019 and sang for us for our concert part of the AOT conference. And then she decided that she wanted to join on. So without further ado, let me bring them on. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
So share, share, share. So I want you guys to tell us who you are and then tell us just a little bit about your business. And then we'll come back to AOT stuff. But we want to talk about you tonight. So Crystal, tell us who you are and tell us about your business.
I am Crystal Iris. I'm an author, of course, and a speaker. Full-time, I work as a guidance counselor at a alternative school, alternative high school. It gets fun there. But in my business, I am a life coach, and I help women to break their own barriers. So we go by BYOB through the Boston Academy. And I just help women to do what they got to do so they can make it to their upside. I believe that everybody has a journey and we're all here for a reason, and our experiences give us purpose, and through our purpose and our transparency, we are able to make it through that upside and help bring people along there. So that's me in a nutshell.
Hey, and Risky. Oh my goodness. I tell people all the time, like you sang for us. You were one of the performers and then decided that you wanted to be a part of AOT and came in 2020 and we kind of, a little bit of COVID got us and we had to stop touring, but you have been here since 2020, the end of 2019. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
All right, so I'm a startup business, Girls Interrupted. Yay. So it stayed in my mind for about 6 years. It was all on paper. Everything was working, I guess, in its purpose. But one of the things that I wanted to do was work on me first. So I turned everything inward, and then I started a journey of healing and wholeness. So when I came and I sang for you guys, I saw the power in the room, and I was like, hey, I have so much to say. I have so much in this lifetime of mine that if it could just reach just one person, it would be the thing that God has called me to do. So I actually, in 2019, late 2019, I registered it as a business, Girls Interrupted. And what I want to do is go in and help veterans. I'm a vet.
Okay.
I want to help them transition. I also want to help and talk about, addiction. I want to talk about depression and anxiety and different things that women feel that they don't need to talk about, that, we want to be quiet about. I want to talk about those things and go into those rooms and really, really be a catalyst for God. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. COVID didn't let me be great last year.
COVID didn't let none of us be great.
You're still great.
In 2021. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Oh, we had a oops. Okay, so we're gonna she'll come back in. Yeah, it's probably the internet. You know, internet don't let us be great, but it's okay because we're still great. So Crystal, with you being our vice president, we had the business manager on last week. With you being our vice president, what do you see, or where do you see us going in 2021?
Oh, I just see us all over the place.
Yeah,
Just all over the place. I know that we have a goal. We have a goal of reaching 1 million people in 2021. And I feel that is part of my responsibility. It is part of my responsibility to ensure that that takes place, whether it's going to be through our books, our speaking, our tours, the different organizations and churches that are going to come out and see us, our viewers sharing content, everything. I think that's what needs to happen. Also, one of the things that I've been really adamant about with AOT is ensuring that each one of us have the opportunity to represent AOT individually as well as collectively. So we all have our own media sheets that we're going to be pushing out, and making sure that wherever we go, we're saying AOT. So yes, we all have our individual brands, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to reach 1 million people, and we're going to make sure that we do that through AOT as well as our personal brands.
Yay! Risy, I know you kind of got cut off, and the internet, we're going to blame the internet. Like, internet, go ahead and sit down, honey, because this is happening, whether you like it or not. So tell us where we kind of left off at, you really want to do certain things with your brand, and then you kind of went out.
As I'm building it, and I'm gonna tell you something, truly, and I don't know who else is listening, but fear into my life and shut me down. And I've always thought that I was amazing, but when I went through dark places and I got into that darkness, it was hard for me to get back up. And I want to share that, and I want to tell somebody tonight that you don't have to wait till everything is perfect. You don't. You have to start moving. And when you move into whatever God has for you, he will provide the resources. You don't have to have it all put together. So if you have an idea and a dream, don't let it stay on paper for 6 years like I did. But start moving in that, in your spirit and in your purpose, because it is real. And, you know, I'm out here with you guys. Like you said, I came into this thing as a singer. It's so much easier to sing than to sit on stage and talk about things that were so hard for you, and just be an open book is very difficult. And that vulnerability that you feel, but you know, at some point you've gone through it and you've made it through. So when you share it, you help somebody else. And
absolutely.
It's so important that we share that. We don't hide it. We don't put up a facade. You know, I'm standing here with you guys. You all are moving in your message and moving in your purpose. I'm a startup business. I haven't been able to do anything with it, you know, right when
But you started it. Yeah, you have to honor that. You started it. Absolutely. So many people don't start. So that's an honor to be able to say I started it in the pandemic. Yeah. With the pandemic happening, you still started it. So yeah, that's still a win.
Yeah, and still in a journey towards healing and wholeness. Because none of us, we're not perfect.
That's a constant. That's a constant. It's always I always look at it as another level up. It's like, okay, you know, I made it through this challenge, but now I got to use all of the tools I learned in this experience, because it's about to get a little bit harder, and you got to come a little bit harder too. That's so I always look at it in levels. Definitely. It's a constant.
So when somebody does something to me, I say, I just got promoted in the kingdom.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
You know.
Hey, Ty.
Real.
So Coach Tony said hello, because I'm sure that's missing the that's all that is. And I meant to say hello. Hey, good evening. Hey everybody. So I have Crystal, Iris, and Risy Spearman on with me tonight, and we're talking about just who we are and what made us choose AOT and what that journey looks like for us. Um, so this is what I want to know. So you're saying that you just started a business because you wanted to reach people, and that is all of what AOT is about, right? We need to reach people. Our mission is to heal one person, one city, one state, one nation at a time, and it's because once you reach one person, they're going to tell somebody else, then you can reach a city, then you can reach a state, then you can, of course, reach a nation. So what makes you want to actually reach other people? Even with you, Crystal, with the break your own boundaries, break your own barriers. That is healing in itself. So what made you want to do something to heal others?
Being just being stuck and afraid to speak on it. Being afraid to say that, you know what, I'm not okay. I'm jacked up right now and I can't find my way out. Adopting unhealthy coping mechanisms that continued, and then I found myself in a place of self-sabotage. Now I'm in my own way. Didn't realize that I had the power of choice the whole time and the key to my cell in my pocket. I put myself in because I didn't truly believe in myself, but it was after. And then also I want people to understand that therapy is very important. Go and get your mind in prayer. And writing for me became something that really helped me stand up and move forward, and stand in my power. So going through all of that, and I'm still a work in progress, but going through all of that, I just want to share with people that just stand. Even when you're afraid, and just kind of move into whatever you need to do, because God already has a purpose over your life. But to answer God's call is expensive. You have to get rid of and change things that you're not ready to change. You're stuck in a routine that works for you, or it doesn't. But you're there because change is hard, but God's call is expensive. So I'm trying to answer that call. And so AOT is providing me that. Thank you for your platform, Makita, in bringing me around all these wonderful people that are actually moving in their call.
Yes, they are. They absolutely are.
I'm new. I just answered mine. So I'm just praying that God will do some, well, hold on, let me speak it. God is going to do some great things through me. So I'm excited about it. And I've decided that I'm just going to say yes, even when I'm afraid. Whatever you bring me, I'm saying yes. So yeah, that's my story, and that's how I'm here with you guys.
So Crystal, what about you? What made you want to do what made you want to do the healing part of it?
The healing part for me came through personal experiences. I had been growing up, you have a reputation. Your parents kind of mold you into being what they aspire you to be. So my whole life, I knew that I was going to college, I was going to get married and make the money. That was my parents' dream for me. When I got to college, real life started happening to me, and I was like, wait a minute, this was not a part of the story. This is not it couldn't have been what they had told me that was supposed to happen. I'm supposed to enjoy my time here. But while I was there, I ended up getting into a relationship with a young man who was very toxic. And eventually he raped me. And that caused me to go into a depression, because I was like, wait a minute, like I said, this wasn't a part of the plan. And I held that inside for a very long time. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell my parents, because, you kind of have that syndrome where you protect the person, the abuser. And I knew that if I told my family, they was going to fight. And I knew if I told my frat brothers, they were going to fight. And I just didn't want that. So I just held it. I got so depressed, my grades dropped, and they was like, yeah, Crystal, something's going on. So I went home. I called my mom and I was like, I just need to come home. I was calling my mama every day. And I was like, just bring me home. So when the break came and I told her I wasn't going back to school. And I started asking God what was going on. And I was like, and I don't even know what it was. It was just like a pull in my spirit where I knew I needed to connect with God. Like, Lord, look, this couldn't have been in vain. Just tell me what was the reason for these things to go on. And I realized that I ended up taking a little nap, and in that nap, I had this vision, you know, kind of like where you kind of sleep, kind of not. I was just in that dream state where God had showed me a vision where there was like tons of girls and women that were coming to me one way who were very similar to me. But when they left me, they were renewed and restored and uplifted. And so when I woke up, I was like, uh-oh, that sounds real big. And then in came my sister and she's like, Crystal, I gotta tell you about my friends. My friends out here having sex and they doing this and they doing that, and you gotta help them. And I was like, who gotta help them? She said, you gotta do something about it. And that was my confirmation that I needed. So I started with the organization called Hey Girl, and it was Girls Under Reconstruction Accomplishing Life. So like I was talking about earlier, how there's levels to this. God gives you levels and you get tools at those individual levels. And so when God upgrades you, you got to upgrade your tools. You got to upgrade too. Those challenges hit hard, and you got to be able to utilize everything that you have learned to get to that next level. It's just like in school. That's the way I see it. And so that's how I started off with reconstruction. And so at my core, that's my message. No matter what, it's helping you to be rebuilt and restored. No matter what your circumstances are, you can still be great. And there's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. And as long as you can understand that you have to go through this particular challenge to get to that upside, you're going to be good. Just imagine what your life is going to be like, who you're going to be like, you know, what it is that you're going to do, how many people that you're going to be able to touch once you just get through this journey. So that's why I have break your own barriers now, because those challenges, they will feed you all types of lies, create barriers and that fear and anxiety and all types of stuff. But if you have a set of tools to break through, then you will meet yourself on that upside. And that's a beautiful person to be. That's where you want to be. So that's how I got into it. So now I got the Bowset Academy, where I'm working more with women than girls now. Women are just my happy place. Girls can be a lot right now, but through as a guidance counselor, I help them to do the same thing. So your gifts follow you. Your purpose is always going to be within you. So I'm able to do it within my full-time job, working with young women and my coworkers too.
Yeah, and then, let's not forget them.
I had so many conversations where my coworkers come in my office and close the door, sit on my couch like they one of my students. You know? So yes, the Bowset Academy, working really, I'm kind of shifting into relationships and healing, because that's how I've learned like most of all of my lessons have been through relationships. And now, thankfully, I am married. It took me a while to get to this point where I was safe and comfortable in getting married. Okay. And so this is part of my upside. AOT is part of my upside and all of that good stuff. So
yay! I remember when I first met Crystal, of course, she was engaged and she was having, you know, all of the wedding type jitters. Like, I got to finish this, I got to do this. And she's working on this doctorate degree. So she's trying to figure out a wedding and a dissertation and AOT. I was like, yeah, you're good. I would be done with the dissertation. That's enough for me. So when I met her, she's still going, and she's still going. Every now and then you'll see a post and she'll be like, this dissertation is like killing me.
I'm almost done though. I'm almost done.
Yes, I'm so happy. We are going to celebrate you a lot when you get it, because we have watched this journey with you. So we got some comments. We got Tyra say, "Hey y'all, hey girl." Tyra said, "Amen to obedience, Risy." And Coach gave us a bunch of hearts. Coach did a hashtag, "Hey girl." Thank you guys. So for me, healing is all of what you all are talking about. I've been in a dark place. I have experienced life, right? It took me a long time to get out of a dark place. That's why I never want to go back. When I feel myself going back into that dark place, I do something different because it can pull you in, right? And it's so hard, like relationships or marriages or being a parent, any of that. It's so easy to get in, but it's very hard to get out of those places. So I try my best to, when I'm feeling low, I let me go do something. And then with the pandemic, the fact that we're not really going outside as much, life as we know it is a little bit different. That all can weigh on you heavily. So I try to keep up with AOT as much as possible because, we need somebody to lean on sometimes. So a lot of times I just go in the group like, what y'all doing? So with that being said, I just want to know what does the future look like with your businesses? Where do you want to take your businesses? What's the next level for your business?
I didn't know who wanted to go first, but
go ahead. Go ahead.
Risy, you can go.
Oh, me. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to help veterans. I'm a veteran, Navy strong. I had a hard time transitioning out the military. Also, just trying to just building a resume was hard because everything is so different on the other side. So I want to get in there and talk to them about that. There's a lot of homelessness and there's also a lot of addiction. With veterans. And then also I want to help with single mothers. I want to try to find some employment opportunities for them. Seniors that are dealing with ageism in corporate that still need to work to meet goals. There's a lot of different things that I want to do in terms of just promoting healing and wholeness. And being able to break through all the secrets that are in our community as Black women, as Black. It's not okay to say this or everything in our families. Everything is just so quiet. You can't speak on this and speak on that. But if you're not telling your truth, you're hurting. And you'll continue to hurt. You'll continue to hurt. So I want to encourage people to just really speak on those hard things. Look inward towards healing and different things like that. And just find resources to help people in any way that they need me as I move forward with Girls Interrupted.
Yay. Crystal, where you going? Because you trying to move on us and everything. So where you going with this?
Yes. My husband and I are planning to move to LA. So that's gonna happen sometime in 2021. We're hoping for May, sometime in the spring. That's what we're pushing for. It would have been now. We would be in LA right now had COVID had not taken place. But we're hoping for May that everything is lifted. As far as business, my husband and I are coming out with a book that's going to be released in the spring as well around relationships. It's called To Be Honest, based off of our podcast that we had, To Be Honest Radio. 25 real, raw, and honest conversations about dating and relationships. So that's coming. I'm excited about that. Jay is in comedy and stuff like that. So when we talk about relationships, I come from the healing perspective and just thorough conversation, and Jay got like 1 and 2 liners that just be hilarious, but it get the job done, and people understand it, and so it's gonna be the perfect collab. So I'm excited about that. I'm also talking to with the BYOB program. It was 6 weeks this year when I rolled it out, and although I promoted it as 6 weeks, it was much longer than 6 weeks. So the first time I did it, it was 8 weeks. And then, but the ladies wanted to stick around. Mm-hmm. And then the second time I rolled it out, it was supposed to be 6 weeks again. And then it ended up being 12 weeks. So, you know, you let the market talk to you and tell you what they need. Yeah. Now, for me, that sounds like a very long time working with 12 weeks. I'm kind of like one of those get in, get out people. But one of the things that I discussed in the BYOB program is having a code blue team. And so my code blue team includes me and three other coaches, Nina Motivates, Lotus Love, and also Jamaica. Jamaica Dot. They're all coaches, all in the healing space. And they are the people who also bring resources to the program. So restructuring that so that everybody has more time to spend with the ladies. And then also I have some women who have graduated within the program who want to become coaches. So I'm excited about that coming down the line. Trying to figure out how I could certify them. I don't really know how to certify them. I could teach them my coaching style, but I don't know how to certify them. So if you know somebody, let me know.
I'll tell you how.
Okay, good. Perfect. Yes. Because they want to be boss at coaches, and I need them to be boss at coaches. So I can kind of so anyways. The other thing is the other thing that's coming down the line is a healing conference. I really want it to be in person. So I'm trying to somehow schedule it in a way where I feel that COVID will be lifted. So again, hoping for like the springtime, we have some things that are in motion for it, but it'll be a BYOB, healing conference.
You're like, what was it?
Okay. Like, wait a minute. And then, so the biggest thing, well, not the biggest thing, but another thing that I have planned are my breakup parties. Mm-hmm. So you came to the breakup parties. They were really, really fun. And I love the breakup parties because it changes the way that we look at breakups. And I'm not just about romantic relationships when you break up with the person that you love and care about, but breaking up with the things that don't serve you. So I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's depression. I don't care if it's like the mother-daughter issues or the daughter-father issues that you might have going on. Like it's okay to break up, you know. And when I say break up, the break is gonna hurt. When you have to separate yourself and you're rebuilding and you're growing, that part is gonna hurt. You're gonna have some resistance there. It's gonna be some withdrawals that happen in that space. But then your upside is going to be so much more better, where you don't have to worry about the toxicity and stuff that you have within this relationships. Let the break hurt and embrace your upside. That's really my message. And so I'm excited about having those breakup parties. If I can muster up the energy, I would like for me to have like private breakup parties, you know, when somebody go through a terrible breakup or they want to have like some one-on-ones, then I would love to be able to go there and help them to break up privately. Because I have had my own private breakup party. So I have all of that, all of those ideas, but we're going to see how they roll out, because, you know,
they will.
You can have a plan and the plan just change up on you. So.
Yeah, COVID is about to go. I have my own theory about that. Not an AOT theory, but Makita theory, right? I have my own theory. COVID is about to leave. But we got some comments. Yes, I didn't know we had a doctor in the group. Oh, it's more than one. Yes,
I'm not the only one.
And this is dope. Thank you, Adelina. And Coach Tony says multiple docs. AOT is such an inspiring lineup. Absolutely. It's multiple.
Shout out to Adelina for trademarking all of my ideas too.
Yeah. LaWanda says she loves it. And Yoli, you all are so awesome. Thank you guys for commenting. Keep the comments coming. Adelina does my trademarking as well. She has trademarked all of my stuff.
Yes.
I didn't know how important trademarking was. And just being honest, just being transparent.
Who did you say? Who did you say did that for
Adelina. Yeah, I can connect you guys. Her name is Adelina Beard, and she does all of my trademarking.
And she's
She
done
does,
all of mine too.
yeah,
And my
yeah,
husband.
she's amazing, and she gets it done. She hosts class if you want to do it yourself. She hosts class sometimes. I think it's like once or twice a year. Trademark coming soon in California. Yes, that's Atlanta said trademark coming soon in California. Yes. Yolanda gave us some hearts. So, ladies, I want to get into AOT stuff. Yay! Not that we haven't talked about AOT, so I thank you guys for throwing AOT in there. But I want to know what made you. I know Risy kind of spoke on this, but what made you say yes? What gave you your okay? This is where I want to be. What gave you that, Crystal?
For me, yeah, for me, you and I met when we were at a mutual friends workshop.
Yeah.
And I came in late, didn't really feel like talking to nobody because remember I was going through a lot already. You remember you said I had a lot of stuff going on when we first met, and I did. But my mom had just had a stroke, so I was there to support my friend, but I was not mentally there. And I was like, I don't want to talk to nobody, just let me do what I gotta do. And let me get up out of here.
I remember that day you came in and it's crazy, and we could talk about it now. But you came in, hair flying everywhere. It was done that day, y'all. Y'all see her. She don't care about no hair. She does not care about this hair.
I know.
Hair was flying everywhere. You was like so. I could tell you were discombobulated. You was just like, ugh.
Yes.
You were still sweet. You was still very sweet, but you was just like, this ain't.
Yes, I was trying not to talk to nobody, and then at the end, Makita was like, "Well, who are you?" I was like, "No, she didn't. Who is this lady, and why is she calling me out like this?" So,
it wasn't me.
No, it was you. That was you. Who are you? I'm pretty sure it was you. But anyways, when I talked about earlier that reconstruction at my core, that's my message. And when I had my vision, I also saw me speaking and touring. And I remember going to talk to my mom, was like, Mom, this reconstruction is a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm supposed to be touring and speaking. And at the time that I had the vision, I was very afraid of speaking. I did not like talking to anybody, especially not public speaking. And now you can't get me to be quiet, right? I done did a lot of work, okay? I done did a lot of healing work. I broke through some barriers to get to this place. So I knew that touring was always within me. So when you had talked about your Art of Transparency tour, I was like, oh, well, let me ask about that. I was like, because, how can you teach me to do my own tour? He was like, I could teach you how to do your own tour, or you could just do AOT. And I was like, girl, let me just do AOT then. So it was just in alignment. It was the perfect alignment. The Art of Transparency is I know that I'm supposed to be touring. I know that I'm supposed to be transparent. Your mission is very much so in alignment with mine. So it was an automatic yes. It wasn't too much that I had to think about at all. That was the yes for me.
Yeah, I remember that day very, very well. And that was at the beginning of me teaching people how to tour. And I had been doing like one-on-one sessions. And I was like, this 2021, I was like, I'm not doing it. And I don't even want to say I'm not doing the one-on-one sessions, but I rather do the group sessions of teaching people
how to. I love groups. One-on-ones can just so much.
Yeah, I think I love the group touring. Risy, you with us? I know her internet was shaky. Risy, you with us? She'll be back because it's the internet. It's the internet. The one thing I can say is with Zoom and now StreamYard and all of the rest of the internet services, they didn't know it was going to be like this. So they didn't, when I say they, I mean Comcast or AT&T or whomever you have, the broadband didn't realize that this was going to be as big as it is. So they're trying to figure out how to keep up with all that's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Even with the phones, like we're still trying to figure out how to keep up. So she will be back because I know that it's the internet part. So yes, I remember that day very well, and I remember you asking like, so how do I tour? And like I said, that was the time that I was doing individual touring classes and teaching people how to tour individually, and it became a little bit draining because I found myself trying to meet with people every single week, different people, right? So in January, we will have a group class as to how people can tour on their own on a budget. So touring on the budget is coming in January.
I saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, touring on a budget. Because people don't think about all of the ins and outs. They think about the top three things: how I'm going to get there, where I'm going to stay, and a venue space, right? But they don't think about the smaller things that you can do versus a big old venue space and trying to sell tickets and all of that. So I'm teaching how you can go on a budget, how you can take 2 or 3 people.
That a lot.
Yeah, I mean, 21 people is 21 of us. That's a lot of people. I love it though. I know that 2022 is going to be bigger, 2023. So I already know, and I'm getting myself prepared for that. But when you have 21 people and they're touring, you don't have to have that big amount of people. You can have one person, you can have 2 people. You don't have to tour with a bunch of people. So that's the main thing that I'm going to teach. And then the second main thing is budgeting. Making sure that you're not spending $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 on a venue space. To sell tickets, and what if the tickets don't sell and all of that. So it's just little nuggets. I think Risy is back with us. Hi, you're back. We know it's the internet. We just talked about how it's the internet. The internet is not our friend because they did not know that COVID was going to come in and everybody would be on the internet. So we get it. So where do you see? Where did we leave off? Where did you leave off?
I don't remember. I just kind of want to just backtrack. I mean, and Crystal, I love what you're doing. You're already in it, moving in it, and that's great. We need more women like you, and I celebrate you in any efforts and whatever you're doing. If you need me, I'm there. Absolutely. Yeah.
Crystal's busy. Crystal is always doing something. She
you have to be humble, and you ask God for something. You just never know how it's going to come. The resource is going to come. So I appreciate being a student in this and learning, so I can take my ideas that are now off paper and really implement and set fire to the world and help the people that need to be helped. So that's all. That's the only reason. I appreciate this platform, Makita, that you're allowing. I know your story and I heard your story. So I mean, you basically started out solo doing this thing for yourself, for your own healing. So I mean, opened it up to us to be able to do the same thing. And there's something that happens when you're transparent, when you get up there and you talk about the hard things in your life happen to you, something transforms inside of you.
Absolutely.
And you find power in it. And that's what I found. I found power. I was just like, you know what?
It's all about the levels, right?
You break your barrier when you're transparent.
That's all it is. You're breaking a barrier.
Yeah.
You're going to another level because now you're no longer scared to tell this story. And as long as fear has you bound, you can't tell the story. You're like, oh my God. And then what if somebody says this, or what if they feel like that, or I'm just scared to talk publicly, right? Once you get over that hump, that's a new level. That's all it is. So many people, you said something earlier that's very astonishing. You said that in our community, we don't talk about things, and we don't. And that's another reason why I started AOT. We do have that what happens in this house stays in this house. Whether it's this house, grandma house, auntie house, what happens in this house stays in this house. And we have that mentality, and we're not healing, right? Because we push it under the what happens in this house stays in this house rug. So if you lift that rug, I don't even want to see what's up under there. Because it's going to be a lot under there from different families. Not just yours, not just mine. Just that rug holds too much. And that's why we're not healing. That's why our children are kind of out of control, because we haven't healed. So now we living the life, and we kicking it, and we doing this. No, we got to heal. Have to heal.
People pleasing. It's that people pleasing. And Absolutely. That fear that you're going to be shamed. Like when I was talking about how I held on and suffered in silence for a long time because I had a reputation to uphold. Like, my parents are the bomb. And I don't say that because they're my parents. I say that because they're awesome people, and people aspire to be like them. They've been married for 30 plus years, 35 plus years. And people look at them and they like, oh my goodness, Marsha and Randy are like really awesome, and their kids are blah, blah, blah. So because of that type of pressure, it was a lot on me to kind of keep things together. I was like, I can't tell nobody that, I allowed, I'm saying this from that other person's perspective, that I allowed myself to get raped, or I allowed myself to get drunk, or whatever the case is. I can't say that. Then what's that going to do to my parents? And I think a lot of us have that mentality where we just suffer in silence because we don't want to deal with that shame and that guilt and that embarrassment that we can cause ourselves or our family. Yeah. And so I think that's really, really important. But I got tired of that. And because I knew that God was calling me higher, I knew that I had to start being more transparent and sharing my story. And when I did, it was amazing. And the reason why is because I didn't have to worry about the shame and the guilt anymore. And my parents actually came to me and was like, I'm the parent. Like, I'm always going to ride for you. I'm always going to ride for you. I don't care what happened. Of course, they still wanted to fight. But listen, years I had been dealing with this, and when they found out, they still wanted to fight. But they was like, I ride for you, baby. Like, anything that you need, like, I got you. I'm never gonna shame you for something that happened to you or for a mistake that you made or anything like that. And that changed my thought process, because I thought that they expected me to be perfect, or they expected me to be this pillar of an example. And they didn't expect that at all. It was something that I had internalized by looking at how other people looked at them. And so I put all my business out on the Hey Girl blog. I told all of my stories from when I was molested at 2 and 3, 3 or 4 years old, and who said what, and I put all my business out there. I put it all out there. And you know what's interesting? This is gonna sound funny, but it's not meant to be funny. But people were like, girl, when's the next? Because I did it in series. They was like, when's the next section coming out? This is better than Basketball Wives. This is when Basketball Wives first came out. And I was just releasing all of my stories. And they was like, hurry up with the next one. So now I just say I love drama, because it makes for a really good, juicy story. And it's not to say like, I go out here and start and stuff. It's not like that. It's like, we like drama. I'm watching How to Get Away with Murder right now. I'm watching How to Get Away with Murder right now. And I'm just like, when's the next episode? So, but you heal and you grow. And when I started sharing, so many girls and women started coming to me when I had that series. They was like, I couldn't tell my story, but I want you to know I've been raped 4 times. Like, this is what has happened to me. I can't tell anybody, but I feel where you're coming from. When you said you couldn't forgive that person, I'm there too. Like, how do you get over this part? So there were so many, just like that vision I had, when God showed me that girls and women were coming to me, that's exactly what happened. Girls and women just flood to me, telling me all their business. And somehow
telling me all their business. Girls,
they tell me all their business. And it's helpful because it helps me to tell my business back to them so that they don't feel like they're alone, and so that I can grab them by the hand and say, let's go to this upside. Let me help you. I'm also, I forgot to mention this part about the healing, but I'm also a Reiki practitioner, which is energy healing. And we can heal from, help heal people from the past. and stuff like that. So that was really instrumental in my development too. And so I also work with energy healing on the women that I work with too. So I feel like I just said a lot, so I won't say no more. It must be the wine. It must be the wine.
She just said that's so true. Humility is vital. She then said you can't be transparent and not change. Absolutely. She said that's such a dangerous mentality to have the whole what happens in this house.
Silence.
Oh. And then that's some real true, Crystal. Yeah, absolutely. That's some truth. That's what. So she corrected. I just feel like the minute you start telling your story, it gets so much better for you. Like it gets so that it lifts, the depression lifts, the anxiety lifts, because I can't stay in this place and I didn't told you about it. So it kind of gives you accountability too. I can't stay here and I just told you how you shouldn't be depressed or you should work out or do something else to kind of alleviate some of your depression. It holds you accountable when you tell your story. Yeah, so I think that we gotta go in that too.
Yeah, I think we use the word depression loosely.
Absolutely, we do.
Because there are so many different types. I mean, just namely the 5 common ones that we speak on. That are it actually is a mental deficit. Mm-hmm. But we don't talk about situational depression, where you don't feel like you have the courage. You're afraid and you're stuck in it and you're unhappy. But you have the power of choice, and you can change your whole entire life by choosing you. And a lot of times with women, I'm not just gonna just say Black women, but women period. We take on this whole I've got to fix everything. I've got to everything together, and you get lost in that and you find yourself pouring out of an empty cup because you don't take the time to put back into you. And that's how, because when my son got in trouble in 2013. He was 17 years old. He was facing 35 years in prison. Right after that, 2014, I was singing and everything was great. I'm fighting for my son. I have church hurt that took me away from the church. So the devil gets busy then. I'm wide open for you to do whatever you want to do. I had attacks on my family and everything. 2015, my dad dies. My sister dies in 2016. I go through bouts of unemployment and money issues in 2017 to 2018. And all the while, everything that I want to do and everything that I love is on paper.
And that was like your kind of like your cue, like get what you need to do out. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole 2020, right? A lot of people, and 2020 has not been my friend either. So let me be very clear in that. But I have been able to do certain things that I wouldn't have been able to do had the world not closed.
Right.
I wrote books. I started the year with 2 books. I got 9 books coming out of the year. So a lot of things, we restructured the Art of Transparency completely. That wouldn't have happened because we would have been so busy traveling. I wouldn't have been able to restructure. I wouldn't have had the time to restructure. I was, we was sat down so that we could restructure, reconfigure, heal, right? Because it's a lot of things that we still need to heal from. So now we got new testimonies to tell 2021. Now we got new stuff to talk about in 2021. We made it through, right? And that's what my message for 2021 is going to be. Anybody that can break their left foot and sprain their right and cannot walk for 4 weeks and then turn around 2 days ago and break their toe. Yeah, I got a whole lot to say.
Make sure you include that you're a little cuckoo.
And people are like, how did you do that? All I did was I was just walking. Like I don't know what happened. All I know is I was on the floor. I was on the ground and I jumped back up because I'm outside. And I was like, oh my God, I hope that nobody see that. Yeah. Whole time my toe broke. But I still, I'm still trying to figure out. I'm laughing at me.
Hilarious. I laugh at everything, so I don't laugh to be offensive, but I laugh because you don't stop. It's like, I'm like, was you that hard-headed kid? Was you that hard-headed kid?
No. I've had 3 whoopings my whole life. I hated being on punishment because that means I couldn't go shopping. I was never that kid. I guess, in my older age, I'm hard-headed. And but
but that's resiliency. Like, I admire that because let me tell you, if something happened to me, I'm down. I ain't doing nothing. I'm not working. I'm not thinking. I'm not doing nothing. You just
had COVID and still wanted to do the orientation.
Still trying to do it, girl. No, we're not doing this orientation. What's wrong with you?
I had COVID. I was still working. Even my real 9-to-5 job, even though we worked from home, I was still calling parents, and in between that, kind of trying to breathe and all of that. I couldn't taste, I couldn't smell. I never got a fever though, which is weird. But I never got a fever. But I continue to move. I continue to go because the one thing I don't want to do is get stagnant because this hurts or that hurts. I've been through a whole lot of hurt, not physical hurt. Well, some physical too. I've been through a whole lot of hurt. I can't allow hurt to stop me in my tracks. So broke toe, broke foot, all of it. If I gotta come to Memphis in a wheelchair, we rolling for 2021. We rolling. We gonna keep it moving, right?
You a mess, girl.
Somebody push this wheelchair. Thanks. I'm just gonna have to fly. I ain't gonna be able to drive. I'm gonna have to fly.
I actually went through that whole situation when God was calling me, and I was, I'm gonna wait until everything is good. Family is back stable. When I'm looking like I was when I was 22, and everything is great. I'll wait.
Mm-mm.
And it takes something special inside of you, a transformation, to step and stand and answer that call and say, you know what? I don't have to have it all put together. I'm just going to move into what God says I'm going to move. And that's how I adopted my motto for Girls Interrupted. Your pain is your power. And it truly is.
Oh, that's good. Pain is your power. It is. It is. But I need you to get that trademark.
Okay.
Because that is key. So, ladies, we have come to almost the end of the show. So I want you to so Tyra says Makita is the next holding up in the wheelchair. Yeah, I will. Yes, I will. I will pull up in the wheelchair. Yes, I will. Absolutely, I will. So tell me how we can find you guys.
I am Crystal Iris all over. So Instagram, I am Crystal Iris. Facebook, Crystal Iris. My page is I am Crystal Iris. Website, I am Crystal Iris. Everywhere. Twitter, I am Crystal Iris.
Risy Spearman on all the social handles. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, look at that. Well, I want to thank you, ladies, because this has been an amazing conversation. So if you want to know more, you want to see more, you want to be with us, we'll be in a city near you. Memphis is first, so that's February. Then we'll be in New Orleans in March and Mobile, Alabama in April. So make sure you see us. Follow these ladies because I'm telling you, this bit again, we've done 4 now. This is just 4 of the 21 of us, and then I'm 21. So I guess you could say 5, so to speak. But who's next? Let me tell y'all who is next week. Y'all know I don't be ready. You already know. Anybody that follows this show knows Makita has to look at everything. So next week we will have Brittany Oliver and Marquita Rogers. Marquita is our member liaison. So next week, tune in 7:00 right here on Facebook. And then we will go over to YouTube. I downloaded to YouTube. So this will be downloaded in the next 10 minutes. But ladies, I want to thank you so much. Thank you, number 1, for saying yes to AOT. And number 2, I want to thank you for tonight because this was an amazing conversation. Just know, everybody out there, if you want to know more about AOT, you can always go to, let me tell you, y'all know I don't be knowing. www.artoftransparency.org. We are all over social media as the Art of Transparency, or Art of Transparency. Some of them have the and some don't. So Art of Transparency on social media all over the place. Any last words? And we out of here, ladies.
No, be free, y'all. Break your own barriers.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Buzz.